Welcome back to Conversations with Marianne and Desiree.
Hi, welcome back.
This is video number 4 in our video series that is to explain more in detail, to give a real-life experience of how we do the work for our Embracing Life workshop series. And it all is focused on a website crisis that I had many years ago with my husband together. And in the first video, we identified the situation and a clear thought, one clear thought that caused the most pain for me. In the second video, we used the first 2 questions of the work to open my mind that there could actually be something that is more true than what I thought initially. And that opened my mind to be more curious, to look further. And then in the last video, we used question number 3, which showed me how my behavior was affected by the thought I had and how that changed the whole situation, because thoughts create emotions and emotions create a behavior. So I could actually see the difference as soon as this thought kicked in, how my behavior has changed and influenced the situation. And today we're at question number 4 and I'm looking forward to it.
So let's start. And it's the 4th question is all about looking at that same situation again. And now it's a bit like a play, right? So just imagine that same situation, but without the thought that you initially had that was the trigger for you. And, you know, just to try it, as if you take this thought out of your mind, you put it to the side and look to that same situation again. Okay, so Desiree, if you, I'd like to invite you to go back, maybe close your eyes and really see yourself there on that weekend day with your bottle of Prosecco, looking at the website that had just gone live. And even though Peter is making some comments, you do not believe, you do not have the thought even of he's criticizing me. Now, who would you be without that thought in that situation?
Okay, so without that thought that he's criticizing me, he's still doing the same thing. He's still pointing out the mistakes.
Yeah, yeah.
So let me start to look around first. So I see him saying what he says, doing what he does. And I can see that he's doing what he always does when he gets some information, a sheet of paper with information in front of him. He has this eagle eye for mistakes and the strong desire to fix something that's not right, to make it right. So he's seeing mistakes, he's pointing them out, and it has nothing to do with me. It's really his thing. And if I look at his face, it's not critical, it's actually more helpful. So he just wants me to have a website without mistakes before other people see it. That's the first thing I can see. There's no critic in it. It's just him doing what he always does. What's his strength? What I actually like about him in other situations.
Yeah.
Then I also have the feeling I see a little bit of guilt in him, because I think he's aware that I wanted his help and he wasn't available for me in that time. So I could also maybe see that there's a little bit of guilt that he wants to fix it now, what he didn't do before. So rather than being against me, he's probably more feeling bad that he didn't do it. Mm-hmm. Which I can actually now, without that thought he's criticizing me, but just looking at him, I can actually develop empathy for him, that he's trying to fix what he didn't do before. So it's actually nice that he's conscious of it. He maybe wishes it to be different.
Yeah. So how do you feel now, realizing these things? What, has something changed at all if you look at the situation now?
I actually feel still close to him, which I didn't do beforehand with that thought, which kind of pulled me away from him. I actually feel close to him because I can see that he is loving and helpful. He wants to be loving and helpful. And the other thing that I see is I'm still having the Prosecco bottle in my hand. And what I would normally do if I would be as I normally am with him is like I would become playful and probably sway this bottle in front of his face and say, hey, buddy, it's time for celebration. Let's fix those mistakes a little later. I want to have a drink now. I want to celebrate. And it's actually more, I feel actually quite light if that thought is not there. I intended to celebrate, and there is no reason why we shouldn't celebrate.
Wonderful. Wow,
Yeah.
that's such a great example. It's
Yeah.
really nice to hear how you can look at it now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really light feeling. It's like it's
Bubbly, like the champagne.
like bubbly like the Prosecco, exactly.
So this is what many people experience, you know, just to imagine what that same situation would be like if you would not have that thought. I sometimes compare it to when you have glasses on and you put your glasses on and off, you get some fingerprints sometimes, some smudges on your glasses, and they obstruct your view. And that's the only thing that we're doing here, is to wipe those clean, to look at it again, and then to experience what you see when you only stay with that moment. You know, when you can let go for a moment of all the other our minds are like association machines, you know, without all the other thoughts and stories that are attached to it. Just look at what's in front of your eyes. And I think you've just given a great example of that. Yeah.
I mean, I recognize, you know, we've done the work also on some, I mean, this is now a situation that has been quite a long time ago. So I'm not quite as emotionally charged as I am, even though I can still feel it when I go into that situation. But we had moments when I was emotionally much more charged, and I recognized it was way more difficult to free yourself from this thought for that moment in time to go back into the situation. And what helped me is, I'm a hiker, so what helped me is the analogy of, with all the stories and all the thoughts that weigh you down, it's like a heavy backpack that make your movement heavy. And I can literally visually put the backpack down for a moment and step back into that whole situation, so I can walk the same way again without the backpack. And that helps me to make that shift from story and attachment to non-attachment, and to be open-minded and as if I would see the moment for the first time, and to have all my senses open that were not, I don't have the bandwidth with the heaviness. So an analogy that works for yourself, for those who follow us, can be helpful to make that shift, because that, if you're charged, is not so easy to do.
Great, thank you. Sounds great. Yeah. Okay, so next time, in the next video, we're going to talk about the turnarounds, you know, the next step in the process of the work after you've done the 4 questions. Then look at some scenarios, how you can experience that situation, how you can interpret the situation in a different way. And that's, you know, it brings always so much. So we're really looking forward to that. So if you want to join us, keep the situation that you're working on handy and the thought. And let's continue with the next one. We hope to see you soon.
Hope to see you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye.